From the outside, Diablo 4 Season 8 feels like a turning point. You log in and the world looks richer. There are new systems, reworked progression, flashy boss powers, and builds that seem more dynamic than ever. Layered boss fights cut out the long walks. Loot has direction again. The community feels energized. But if you watch closely beneath the polish and power creep, something more unsettling starts to surface. Diablo 4 at this moment is not thriving because it's fixed. It's thriving because it's broken. The Overpower system, once a side mechanic, has quietly become the foundation of the endgame. And that change didn't come with celebration, it came with silence. Blizzard didn't announce that builds would revolve around stacking life and fortify. They didn't proclaim that every high-tier build would hinge on a single rune or a lucky proc. But that's exactly what happened. What's worse is that many players haven't realized it yet. They're enjoying the flash, the one-shots, the effortless clearing of Pit 100+. It feels powerful, but it's not earned power, it's borrowed. And eventually it's going to collapse. Overpower damage isn't just dominant, it's out of control. Post-expansion, Blizzard reduced the base life of characters from around 8,000 to 400 as part of a stat squish. But the formula for Overpower didn't adjust with it. It still scales with base life. That seemingly minor oversight has created one of the most broken damage multipliers ever seen in an ARPG. When you stack thousands of extra HP on top of a now tiny baseline, Overpower explodes to 30,000% plus increased damage. And if you fortify that life, you're doubling it again. The result is builds that completely ignore conventional stats. Critical strike chance, vulnerable damage, elemental boosts, glyph investment, all of it becomes background noise. If your build can trigger Overpower, you're a god. If it can't, you're obsolete. That's the line that now divides viable and dead builds in Diablo 4. But the real problem isn't just the numbers, it's how it feels to play. You load into a dungeon as a druid. Your pulverized build looks good on paper. You engage a pack of mobs, slam the ground, nothing. Slam again, nothing. Third time, boom. The screen explodes, and this is the loop. No impact, sudden nuke. It's unpredictable, inconsistent, and fundamentally unsatisfying. You never know if your build is working or just charging up its next Overpower proc. Every class is being funneled into this slot machine style of gameplay. Even builds that were never designed for Overpower, like Tornado Druid or Double Swing Barb, are being shoehorned into it through runes like Banished Lords and Crown of Lucian. The game is warping itself to serve a mechanic that was never intended to be the center of the combat loop. And because Overpower deals all the damage while regular hits deal nothing, even your itemization stops mattering. Why invest in vulnerable or shadow damage when Overpower ignores it all? Most glyphs, paragon nodes, and even tempering bonuses mean nothing if your Overpower multiplier is already in the tens of thousands. The gameplay becomes an illusion of progress. You're no longer optimizing your character, you're just feeding a bloated formula. This isn't just bad balance, it's broken design. And the sad truth? It's been happening for 3 seasons straight. Season 6, Season 7, and now Season 8 have all been dominated by Overpower-centric builds. The developers have been warned, feedback has been loud, yet here we are again. Not only is the system untouched, it's thriving. It's being reinforced by new mechanics like boss powers that double down on burst windows, stacking synergies, and temporary godhood. And while Overpower quietly dismantles the core of Diablo's build diversity, the rest of the systems start to suffer under the same weight. Tempering and masterworking were supposed to be new layers of customization. Instead, they've become sources of constant frustration. You finally find the perfect weapon. Rare drop, ideal base stats, potential for greatness. You temper it, miss one roll, and it's bricked. Forever. No reroll, no undo. Just a legendary item that goes into your stash as a painful reminder of what could have been. Masterworking fares no better. One bad rank, 12 enhancement, and your item resets to 0. There's no checkpoint system, no safety valve. Players aren't customizing anymore, they're gambling. And the stakes are brutal. Even crafting mythics, the supposed endgame chase, is out of reach for most players. Runes drop at a rate so laughably low, even those with 200+ hours of play haven't found enough to make one item. The system exists in theory, but in practice, it's a ghost. Unless you trade on third-party websites or manipulate exploits, crafting mythics is a dream that will never materialize. Meanwhile, the endgame is quietly crumbling. The pit system, intended to offer escalating challenge, is plagued by design flaws. Higher tier content gives no better loot, no more XP, no better rewards. In fact, it's worse. The optimal way to play is to farm Pit 69, not because it's fun, but because it's the most efficient. The higher you go, the more HP enemies have, and nothing else. The challenge increases, the rewards don't. Bosses in the pits are another problem entirely. They're not engaging fights, they're time walls. Damage sponges with zero strategy. Builds that focus on AoE or snapshots can't even kill some bosses due to their design, leading players to simply leave the game mid-fight. And yes, you can't even teleport out. You have to log out of the game just to escape a bad fight. So while some systems dazzle, others choke. And yet, players are still logging in. Still playing, still pushing. Why? Because the broken parts of Diablo 4 feel powerful. Overpower builds let you one-shot packs. Boss powers create flashy explosions. The game makes you feel like a god, even if only for 0.3 seconds every few attacks. But that power is built on borrowed time. As soon as Blizzard addresses the underlying problems, if they address them, the illusion will shatter. The systems beneath don't support a deep ARPG. They support a game where one mechanic accidentally became the answer to everything. Season 8 feels like a triumph. But it isn't. It's a mask. The fun is real, but it's artificial. The builds are exciting, but they're shallow. The power is intoxicating, but it's broken. And unless something changes soon, this won't be remembered as Diablo 4's turning point.